This is what a gold fruit looks like in Blox fruits. And this is a barrier awakening that's rumored to come out in the next update. These are some of the coolest Blox fruit concepts that you must know. Okay, so the very first fruit that we have on the list is the stone fruit. And let's see what its abilities are. Alright, the first ability we have here is the stone transformation. And this one is really cool because you literally transform into a giant stone model, similar to the Buddha fruit. Next up, we got the stone gauntlet. This is similar to one of the rubber fruit's abilities. You kind of just shoot your fist forward, dealing a butt ton of damage to whatever it lands on. This could be useful for combos, especially at the end of them. And this has a 50 mastery requirement. Next up, we got stone spikes with a 100 mastery requirement. And this ability looks really overpowered. You just spawn in a bunch of spikes from the floor, similar to one of the abilities of the sand fruit. And this one has a 100 mastery requirement. Next, we have colossal spikes. And this actually looks like a really overpowered ability. And it covers a lot of ground, so it's almost impossible to miss your enemy with this. And it also has a 175 mastery requirement, so it's going to be pretty difficult to unlock. Next up, we got stone head. And this one is just a weird ability. You kind of turn into a pile of stones and just dash across the floor, I guess. Pretty weird ability. Next up, we got stone axe, and I'm guessing this is a passive ability. Oh, never mind. You just yeet the axe and deal a butt ton of damage. And this is probably my favorite ability from this fruit by far. It just looks really cool. But it does have a 250 mastery requirement, so I'm going to have to grind a butt ton if I want to get this. Wait, there's more. There's a stone spear with a 300 requirement. How many abilities does this fruit have? Wait, oh my god, that's super cool. You throw a huge stone ball and then you throw a spear into it, exploding that. Wow, this looks like a really cool ability. And then a bunch of spikes spawn in. Oh my god. Alright, it looks like that's it for the stone fruit. Let's head over to the next one. Okay, so the very next fruit that we got here is called the gold fruit. And it would be really cool to see a gold fruit in game. I really hope they add a fruit similar to this. The first ability we got here is called golden spear. And oh my god, that just looks way too overpowered. You just shoot a very small gold pellet and I guess it spawns in a huge gold spear similar to one of the sand fruit's abilities. And since this has a mastery 1 requirement, you get it instantly as soon as you unlock the fruit. Is it just me or does this ability feel way too overpowered for the first one? Anyways, let's see the next ones. Next up, we got air punch. And for this one, I guess you launch the player into the air and you just spear them with a bunch of gold and then explode them with golden lightning. Wait, this is a very weird ability. And also looks way... Oh, it turns them into gold at the end as well. Oh my god, that is super cool. Next up, we got golden axe. And oh my god, you just spawn in a bunch of huge golden spikes and you just smash any player with this. I'm guessing this is probably an insta-kill. That's probably why it's not in the game. Next up, we got a very weird ability. And this one is called Gold Shark with a 310 mastery requirement. And you spawn golden wings and you fly into the air and you shoot a shark at a player. That is such a weird ability. And the last ability is obviously the movement ability, golden wings. And I'm guessing these work very similar to the love fruit's ability because they just look like they let you fly around. Pretty cool if you ask me. And I would really love to see a gold fruit in game. So I hope this gets added. Okay, so next up, we don't really have a new fruit. Well, I guess it is a new fruit. It's more like a combination of 2 different fruits. And those fruits are the dark and quake. And everyone knows that those fruits are very solid fruits and Blox fruits. So let's see what a mix looks like. Very first ability we got here is called Ultimate Aura with a 1 mastery requirement. And oh my god, this looks way too overpowered for a level 1 ability. For this one, you mix darkness along with the quake power and you shoot it into one. And I guess it merges on impact and creates this huge obsidian looking explosion. Damn, that looks really cool though. Next, we got Gura Gatling. And for this one, you just spawn in a bunch of electricity around you, similar to one of the quake fruit's abilities. And I guess you get a bunch of rocks to spin around you. And what I'm guessing is that this ability does a butt ton of damage to everything around your player. And damn, that radius is really huge. So if you get hit with this attack, there's no way you're dodging it. Next ability we got here is Dark Aura. And this is definitely one of the counterparts of the dark fruit. For this one, you spawn in a quake ability along with darkness ability. And I guess you send it flying towards your opponent. And I'm pretty sure this ability explodes on impact, so it deals a butt ton of damage to anyone that it hits. Next ability we got is Mysterious Aura. And this is actually similar to one of the abilities of the spider fruit. But instead of dealing a butt ton of damage to them long range, I guess you pull them towards you and deal way more damage because the effects look way cool. And also kind of spawns in this electricity that looks really cool. Next, we got the movement ability. And this one is just named Movement with a 75 mastery requirement. And it looks really cool. And if this was added to the game, I think it would be one of the best movement abilities in the whole of Blox fruits. I mean, just look at it. But I guess it's more of a show-off ability because it doesn't really move as fast as some of the other fruits. So I'm guessing the light fruit outmatches it. Next up, we got another special type of fruit. And this is one that's definitely not in the game. A lot of you might be wondering what it is. And I'm obviously talking about the Bomb Awakening. Well, I'm not sure how you're supposed to guess that, but let's get right into it. Let's see how it looks. So the very first ability we got is Throwing Bomb. And that looks like a pretty small bomb that you have in your hand. And then you throw it and oh my god, wait, that explosion is massive. What the heck? I was not expecting that. For level 1 ability, come on, bro. The next ability we got here is Exploding. And this one has a 150 mastery requirement. And it's exactly what it looks like. You basically just explode, and I'm pretty sure you die after using this ability, so I'm not sure why anyone would want to use it. But I guess if you're trying to 2v2 some people with your friends, then it's not that bad of an ability to use. And you could also take out your opponent with you, which is also not that bad. Next ability we got here is called Ball Exploding, and this ability, you throw a huge rock that bounces 3 times and oh my god, that creates a massive explosion. I'm not really sure how you're supposed to aim this ability, because how are you supposed to measure the exact distance? But then again, the radius of the explosion is really huge, so it wouldn't be that difficult to miss. But you're gonna have to practice this a bit if you want to use it. And it's also 250 mastery, so you're gonna have to grind before you even get to use it. Next ability we got here is called Sky Exploding. And for this one, you basically just fly straight into the sky and you just crash down into the floor, similar to one of the Kilo Fruit's meteor abilities. And that crash ability, in my opinion, is by far the best ability from this fruit, I would say. It looks like it deals a butt ton of damage, and the explosion size is almost the same as the self-explode. Next up, we got Secret Bomb with a 75 master requirement. For this one, you shoot a small orange spike looking projectile and it creates a huge explosion, but I don't think this does as much damage as the other abilities because the explosion looks relatively small. Next up, we got Powerful Bomb with a 150 master requirement, and damn, this explosion is huge. You jump up into the sky and you shoot a small ball wherever your cursor is and it creates a huge explosion, dealing a butt ton of damage to everything around it. Overall, I would really like to see a Bomb Awakening, and I think the reason the devs haven't added one yet is because it's just a bomb fruit, but an awakening would really balance it out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Next fruit we got here is literally ice cold. It's called the Snow Fruit, and this one only has a total of 3 different abilities, with the first one having a 10 master requirement, second one having a 150 master requirement, and the third one having a 400 master requirement. But regardless, let's see how this fruit works. So the first ability, called Purified Snow, you shoot out a bunch of small snow crystals, and I'm guessing since this is just the first ability, only deals around medium damage, but I'm not really sure how it works. And these look pretty hard to aim as well because they stand still for a while above your head before you can shoot them, so it might be really easy to dodge. Overall, this is probably the worst first ability we've seen by far in this video. Next ability we got is called Blades of Snow, and this one looks pretty decent. I'm not really sure what type of PvP situations you would use these in because it spawns in multiple, so you kind of have to be following your enemy to use these properly, but it might be good to follow this up with the Purified Snow attack. But let's see what the Endless Blizzard is, the 400 mastery ability. Well, this just looks like a better version of one of the Ice Fruit's abilities, where you just spawn in a bunch of snow around you. In the video, it says that the damage is double and everyone in the blizzard is slow, so it doesn't completely freeze them, it just slows them down and doubles the damage you can do to them. And if you have a good combo to follow up with this, then you can definitely instantly kill your enemies. So overall, I would say this fruit is pretty decent, even though it only has 3 abilities. But the last ability hard carries it. Let's be real, it's the only good ability here. Anyways, that's it for the Snow Fruit. Let's head over to the next one. Okay, so the next fruit that we have on the list is the Gas Fruit. And if you watch One Piece, you already know exactly what this fruit is. And if used properly, it could be really overpowered. But let's see what it looks like in Blox Fruits. And this guy even made an icon for it. Pretty cool. Shout out to Straw Boy. So the very first ability of this fruit is called Gas Burst. This looks pretty overpowered, similar to one of the Smoke Fruit's abilities, but a lot better because it covers a large amount of ground. And it even says up here that it leaves behind poisonous gas, so it probably does a butt ton of damage. And this ability has a 0 master requirement, so you get it instantly as soon as you get the fruit. Next up, we got Gas Glare, and oh my god, this ability is really weird. It's like, it reminds me of an Inferno Tower from Clash Royale. What the heck? But I guess you kind of just launch a huge purple beam and you just do a butt ton of damage wherever you're looking with it. And I'm not really sure if the ability exactly works like this, but it would be pretty cool if it did more damage over time. So if you're hitting the same target, the damage just keeps multiplying. If you completely trace your enemy just like it's aim labs, then you should kill them with just one ability. Next ability we got here is called Gas Smash, and this does exactly what it sounds like. Your character just smashes the ground with a bunch of gas, and this looks like it hurts. It also leaves behind a bunch of gas for a short amount of time. Not as much as the first ability. That would just be way too overpowered. This one has a 350 master requirement, making it pretty difficult to get. Next we got Gas Storm, and this is also a very cool ability. You just spawn in a bunch of gas tornadoes and they just shoot off in the direction where you're aiming. It looks like you only can spawn in around 3 of them, so make sure you aim these well. But I'm pretty sure if your enemy gets caught up in this, then they'll take a butt ton of damage and they might even get launched up into the sky. Overall, I think this fruit has huge combo potential, but it kind of depends on the Glass Glare ability. If it locks them in place, then it's overpowered, but if it doesn't, it's not really. But overall, I would still say it's a really solid fruit, and I definitely see this being added to the game around update 20, but I'm not sure if it would be exactly the same as this concept. Okay, so the next fruit we got here is the Barrier Awakening, and I'm sure a lot of you want to see this. It might even potentially be coming out in the next update, update 20, which is rumored to be a really massive update with a bunch of new fruits getting added. Let's see what this concept looks like. The first ability we've got is Barrier Barrage, and it looks like you trap your enemy in a barrier bubble, just like one of the normal abilities, but this time you launch barrier sharks at them. I'm not sure if the person that made this has watched One Piece, but this isn't really how the barrier fruit works. I don't think you can just spawn in sharks from it, but nevertheless, it's Blox Fruits. I guess they can just do whatever they want. The next ability is called Barrier Trap. Similar to the normal barrier fruits ability, it's a barrier prison, but this one just looks a lot bigger and lot better. And I don't think your opponent is getting out anytime soon if they get trapped in this. And I'm not really sure how this works, but it looks like you can deal damage to them while they're stuck in there. There's just 2 abilities for this fruit, but I know that if it comes to the game, we're gonna see a lot more. Okay, so this next fruit we got here is very, very interesting. And the reason I say that is because it defies all the laws of Blox fruits. Everyone knows that in Blox fruits, when you eat a fruit, you cannot swim in water. You completely lose that ability. But this fruit I got here is called the water fruit, which literally makes no sense because if you use water, it's supposed to damage you. But I guess in this case, it doesn't, and could make this a really overpowered fruit. The first ability we got here has 150 master requirement, and it's called water drops. What this ability does is spawn in a huge water ball, and then I guess you can control where it goes to. And I don't really see this doing a lot of damage, but then again, it's not just one huge ball, it's a bunch of them. And if you can control exactly where all of these abilities go, then you should have no problem dealing a butt ton of damage to your enemy. And then again, it's water, so it could make them use their Blox fruits abilities completely if they're following how the anime works. Next ability we got here is called water vortex, and for this one, you just spawn in a huge upwards water tornado, and it deals a butt ton of damage. And I guess if an enemy gets hit by this, they get sent flying into the sky. And this one also looks like it deals a butt ton of damage. Next ability is called spinning wave, and this one makes no sense because you literally cover yourself in water. The thing that's supposed to damage you, you're protecting yourself with it. Overall, a very weird fruit, and if it works the same way as the anime, then this could be the most overpowered fruit in Blox fruits, and the dough fruit or the leopard fruit won't even come close in PvP.